It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. To know what you know and what you do not know, that is true knowledge. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Never give a sword to a man who can't dance. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. If you think in terms of a year, plant a seed. If in terms of 10 years, plant trees. If in terms of 100 years, teach the people. Heaven means to be one with God. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. We should feel sorrow, but not sink under its oppression. An oppressive government is more to be feared than a tiger. Study the past, if you would divine the future. They must often change. Who would be constant in happiness or wisdom? In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. Without feelings of respect, what is there to distinguish men from beasts? To practice 5 things under all circumstances constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. When you know a thing, to hold that you know it, and when you do not know a thing, to allow that you do not know it. This is knowledge. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his action. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. I hear, I know. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation there is sure to be failure. It is easy to hate and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. The cautious seldom err. Old age, believe me, is a good and pleasant thing. It is true you are gently shouldered off the stage, but then you are given such a comfortable front stall as spectator. Never contract friendship with a man that is not better than thyself. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. You cannot open a book without learning something. A gentleman would be ashamed should his deeds not match his words. If we don't know life, how can we know death? A youth, when at home, should be filial and, abroad, respectful to his elders. He should be earnest and truthful. He should overflow in love to all and cultivate the friendship of the good. When he has time and opportunity, after the performance of these things, he should employ them in polite studies. To see the right and not to do it is cowardice. Death and life have their determined appointments. Riches and honors depend upon heaven. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. He who learns but does not think, is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. If I am walking with 2 other men, each of them will serve as my teacher. I will pick out the good points of the one and imitate them, and the bad points of the other and correct them in myself. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. The object of the superior man is truth. The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. To see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. I want you to be everything that's you, deep at the center of your being. If you look into your own heart, and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? Ability will never catch up with the demand for it. Virtuous people often revenge themselves for the constraints to which they submit by the boredom which they inspire. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. To see what is right and not to do it is want of courage, or of principle. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the three universally recognized moral qualities of men.